Okay, so we are currently on the Queen Anne Hill. Queen Anne Hill is the area of Seattle that I think I've already been up here and shown, but maybe not from this angle. But it basically is a place where you can come up and get a great view of Seattle, iconic views, really. Uh, and it's kind of like it's actually what would you call it? I guess stereotypical, sort of like overdone. One of those views that everybody's trying to get a new angle on. And you can't really, you can see that was necessary. You can see the Space Needle there for a second. And you can see Mount Rainier in the background today. It's very beautiful. Today is one of the last couple of days that we're going to have nice weather before we go into a predicted rainy spell. And I am done with my job for the day and heading home. So I thought I'd just record another video and see if I can edit this down into something. I am asked about this. Okay, let me back up a step. There's various ways of learning how to do YouTube videos, and a lot of them are tutorials on YouTube videos. Of course, and there's people that are making tons of videos and getting a lot of views just by telling other people how to get views by making videos. It's yeah, it's a bit snake eating its own tail, I suppose. Which is fine. It's a saturated area, so I don't think there's a lot of. But anyway, backing up again, there are also Facebook groups that you can join and ask questions about, hey, what should I do? How should I do this? How should I do that? And it's everybody's got their opinion. And a lot of times when you go on these Facebook groups, the opinions are diametrically opposed. Of course, right? That's the way anything goes. But also, weirdly, frequently, even though they're diametrically opposed, frequently they are also both right. Because there's a lot of the videos out there, a lot of the tutorials are saying that the less edited, kind of straight to camera, off the top of your head type of vlog does well. Okay, that's fine. And then there's others who say, no, you have to chop them up. You've got to keep the interest flowing. You have to make sure that you have, I mean, it just depends on what the subject matter is, right? By the way, I'm just going to go right through downtown Seattle. We're just going to go right through the center of it, and we'll see how that goes. And you'll be able to see, whether or not it is an apocalyptic mess. Spoiler alert: it's not. It's a big city with big city problems, but um, I guess medium city. Is it medium city? Anyway, so that's the thing I'm wrestling with is, are videos more likely to be viewed when they're edited, cleaned up? You got, sound effects, music, all background music, all that kind of stuff. What is it? Or is it just talk to the video, talk to the camera? And I can't see most of what I've done so far being all that interesting for folks. but you never know because, I found myself watching videos and my wife will walk into the room and say, is this interesting? Is it Well, to me, it kinda is. And who knows what is interesting about it? I don't know. It's, there's it's a big wide world. By the way, we're driving by, the Museum of Pop Culture, so it's Mopop. And it used to be it's a maybe I've already covered this ground, but it used to be the, Paul Allen built Experience Music Project. And you can see it off to the right there as we drive by. It's a crazy shape. Um, and up ahead of us is the monorail. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a monorail going over us while I make this drive. We try to go down all the way down Fifth Avenue, which is it Fifth Street or Fifth Avenue? It's Fifth Avenue. Um, Go down Fifth Avenue and to get onto I-90 and head east. So that's the plan. So all these signs pointing to I-5. Yeah, that's a marker along the way, but that's not where we're going. We're going to be on I-5 briefly, just so that we can get onto I-90, and hopefully this won't be too painful getting through town this time of day. It is 4 o'clock, which means a lot of people are heading home. Rush hour in Seattle starts, like at 3:30 and goes, to 5:30 or 6, I guess, depending on all of the things that are going on during the day. I think the Mariners are out of town, so we shouldn't have too much baseball traffic. It's early spring, so that's the sport that's going on right now. Another question that I had, that I'm trying to figure out is, about, uh it's about the, folks that when they do these kinds of videos, they blur out the license plate numbers of all of the cars. Now, I get blurring out faces of children. You don't, because that's a problem. You don't want children on the videos, but I mean, just anytime you're in a city, stop and look. Every car has a license plate number, and it's out in public. Why do we need to blur them? I don't know that it's even necessary. You could say the same thing about people. I know that there's a lot of, especially the Japanese and maybe even some of the European vloggers that really, I think, go kind of out of their way. Okay, there goes an ambulance. They kind of go out of their way to blur everybody. You don't get their permission to. You can't put them in the video. And I take the street photographer attitude. If you are in public, you are in public. You cannot hide from the fact that you're out in public. So if I came into your place, or if I was asking you, questions that might get you in some sort of trouble or something like that, yeah, okay, I get it. I'll blur you. But if you're just walking down the street, you're in public. People are going to see you. They're going to see you on YouTube. Yeah. Um, I guess don't be in places you shouldn't be if you don't want anybody to see you there. I don't know. I don't know. It's a question about, we do have a little bit of a surveillance society going on. I get it, but I think that ship has kind of already sailed. That horse is out of the barn. Um, so we're driving under the monorail right now. I don't know if we're gonna see any come through here. But anyway, if you have an opinion, just drop it in the comments. About blurring license plate numbers. I mean, that's a lot of work when you're doing this kind of video. Um, and I know it's something that you can do, because you can, in Final Cut Pro, you can, you know, block out a spot and it'll kind of map to it and it'll follow it around the screen. So you don't have to like, it's not, I mean, it's kind of AI. AI is doing it to a certain extent. I guess it's AI. Um, Lots of different ways that you can do it, I suppose. And, I just don't see the need, but I could be wrong. And if there's, maybe if I don't want to find out the hard way. But, you know, I guess if I've got enough people that, people are seeing it and saying, "Oh my God, that's me," and they're upset about it. I guess that's a good problem to have. That means that people are watching the videos. Uh, so this is now we're going right down through the central district of Seattle. Um, what street are we on here? This is Pine. Yeah, I know. This is Pine. And Pike and Pine run parallel, going east and west, and they go down to they both go down to the waterfront. Maybe someday I'll drive through the waterfront. Not today. I'm on my way home right now. Um, but maybe that's an option someday. And this place gets really, the city gets really busy, especially in the summertime when we have a lot of tourists walking around. But um, one thing about Seattle, as you can see, it's a smoking ruin. But one thing about Seattle that drives me nuts is the number of people oblivious to the lights. They just walk across as traffic is coming, as if the traffic is just going to stop. And a lot of these folks are homeless, unhoused, however you want to call it, and many of them are on drugs. So you kind of never know. They could come just like all of a sudden there they are walking across the street. And sometimes they're in no particular hurry. So rush hour traffic is actually, this isn't that bad. It's just stoplights, and every place has stoplights, right? So the Seattle downtown area is set up on a grid, and um, east, west, north, south. And you got traffic lights at all of the major intersections, and that's just the way it is. You have a lot of pedestrian traffic lights too. So especially on this, you got two or three of them on this street. We've already passed a couple of them. Now the real question is going to be, how many of these people are trying to get on I-5? And good, I got front row view. I'll be able to see the answer to my own question, is because I can shoot up the right side and then go past all these folks trying to get on Seneca, and shoot past them and get on up at James or Cherry, which is you know on the other side of what we would call the business district. So we started on Queen Anne and went down to past the Seattle Center area into Belltown, and now then through we didn't really go through South Lake Union very much this time. I think I've taken videos down there before where all of the Amazon buildings are. Um, Coming up to University, Fifth Avenue Theater is right there on the left. Quite a lot of Broadway shows come through, and that's where that either there or at the Paramount, which is just a few blocks away to the east. So one of the problems with these long form videos where I just kind of push play and let it run is if I do plan on editing, then the difficulty is how long it takes. I have to watch it all. It's all right. If you have to watch it, I guess I should watch it too. I have to watch it all and see where I should cut. Like like some of it will be obvious, because you can see the sound waves and see, well, there's no sound waves there. It must not be talking. So nothing interesting going on. So snip, snip. Works just fine. All these folks in the left lane, a lot of, well, yeah, I guess all of them are trying to get on I-5. Um, and I think that is only southbound, but it's sort of connected to where I could go, but there's a much faster way to get on there because all of these folks are going to stay in line, but we're going to go up around it and sort of take the next freeway entrance. This freeway entrance off Seneca it's pretty obvious. It's like a big street that goes right onto the freeway, and it has an exit, like a left-hand exit when you get off. So a lot of people are familiar. So they'll know, hey, Seneca, that's my exit. That's where I get back on when I go home. But the next exit up, next entrance up is gets puts you on basically on the same road. So okay, like all right, what we got going on here? Got people causing problems trying to get in. All right, go around those. Hey, who's? See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Got to be careful when you say things like that because the next thing you know, you get stuck. It's a law. It's Murphy's law. Yeah, that was red, dude. That was red. It's very red. If you come to Seattle, you'll notice something right away. It's a very hilly town. Downtown it's hilly. It goes um down to the water and up to. So if you're gonna come up here by the freeway from the waterfront, it's quite a climb. So A lot of people have talked about how strenuous it can be, and like you see all the bicycles. Well, a lot of them are the e-bikes, motorized. So, all right, let's not run over anybody, but let's get on there. All right, yeah, on the freeway. Um, and Seattle drivers have a reputation for being bad, and it's especially known from the Seattle driver's perspective. Fact of the matter is I've driven a lot in LA. I've driven a lot in the Orlando area. I've driven a lot in Tokyo. Um, not that bad. Seattle's not that bad. They have some. Every place has some. But like the some of the drivers in California and Florida are just nuts. And so I mean I don't maybe some folks would say that, well, a lot of the drivers that we complain about up here came up from California. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We have a What we do have is, because of the tech industry, we have a lot of drivers who maybe haven't ever driven before. Or if they did, they drove in a totally different circumstance. If they drove in, like, maybe they came from Mumbai or something, and it's such a crowded, or Shanghai, such a crowded city that you don't really have much of a chance to drive, very fast on wide open streets. Now, on the other hand, if you do drive a lot on those kinds of places, your skills are going to level up. It can't help but, especially, like, I drove in Tokyo for 6 or 7 years, and well, 5, maybe 5 that I was actually driving, and you have to level up because you there's the roads are so small, the cars are so tightly packed, and I mean, what are you going to do? You have to, if you didn't level up, you'd crash all the time. So that's one thing. But I know that I've heard of places like, some places in India where they just, you expect that you're going to get a few dings in your car, so people aren't as precious with their cars. Seen some intersections, like videos of some intersections where I'm surprised there aren't any, you know, more accidents. That's a good question. How many of these people are going completely south? I think, gonna do it. Once we get around the corner up here, maybe I'll get another shot of Mount Rainier. Um, and so then I'll end this thing. And you know what? I'm just gonna post it as is and let the chips fall where they fall. There, you know, and there will be periods of it where there's not a lot going on. That's fine. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do the little fast forward trick, so the whole thing is intact, but it's got a little bit of a zip 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 through to the end. So I don't know how that's going to come out, but the Mount Rainier is right there. I think, oh, well, hello, and got a lot of traffic. Lovely. Rather be on that train. Says Redmond, Issaquah, Bellevue. Issaquah's 14 minutes. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, well, So I'm going to do the old thing where I keep my eyes on the road and, peace out.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.